Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me in the new year. These are going to be older finds. These were things that I just found in a couple of estate sales and some record stores in my area. Very big fan of the treasure hunt, and I know some of you are too, so let's get down to it. I wanted to start this off with The Apartment. This is a soundtrack from the film, and if you have seen it, you know that it is just hilarious. It's got Jack Lemmon and Shirley MacLaine, and the two of them are just magical together. I think it's a lot like the movie Some Like It Hot, just that really quick pacing of the dialogue. Along with that, the score would be just as grand and just as beautiful. And so you'll see in my collection, if you've looked on Discogs, I do have a lot of orchestra pieces, and I have jazz pieces, big band, swing, and then these movie soundtracks. I know last year I opened a whole bunch of these newer movie soundtracks, but I do like these old ones too. This is not even a soundtrack I have on streaming. I was looking and it's so rare to have this, and I don't know why. The music was composed by Adolf Deutsch. I did play it on my record player just to get a feel for it, and it's very smooth. These pressings, these old pressings are just so gorgeous. And Billy Wilder Productions, because Billy Wilder also did that movie Some Like It Hot with Marilyn Monroe. I think he really captured what it's like for a young guy to be in a big city and having an apartment, and that exciting feeling of sharing that apartment with someone that you find attractive, and that's what this movie's about. And so I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but you should definitely see it. I love this soundtrack though, and that the theme from The Apartment and just the feel, that old Hollywood kind of feel, it just fills the room. It gives you this like wonderfully classic vibe. It just kind of if you've gone to Disney World, it gives you that Disney Hollywood Studios vibe. There's a few others in my collection. I could do a whole video on that, on that Hollywood vibe and the different records that do it for me, but this would fit in that collection. The next one I wanted to share with you is the Glenn Miller story. Glenn Miller is a big band leader. He had a wonderfully successful music career. He's best known for songs like Moonlight Serenade and In the Mood. This also includes a lot of hits with Louis Armstrong and the All-Stars. Jimmy Stewart plays the role of Glenn Miller in the movie, and it captures a lot of the style of the era in the 1940s and 30s. It says here that when Glenn Miller was at his height, 1 out of every 3 coins that was placed in jukeboxes was spent to hear a Glenn Miller recording. So clearly he was a force. It was produced about 10 years after a tragic disappearance. His warplane that he was in went down during World War II. They brought back a lot of his original band members to do this recording, and that's what makes it so special. It's just black vinyl, but it's in impeccable condition. So again, very excited to get this. This was definitely under $5. It is such a great big band, swing, jazz sound, phenomenal. And Louis Armstrong is from New Orleans. I am a trumpet player myself, and so whenever I find anything with Louis Armstrong in particular, I do look for it. I'm gonna show you another record that I was able to scoop up that has Louis Armstrong not only playing in it, but he's actually starring in it and has some lines and things. So I'm gonna get to that next. There's a little peek of it behind me. Because this is a great Broadway cast album to look for, and I highly recommend it. So I'm gonna reach back here and pick up High Society. This is such a great movie. It's based on the play The Philadelphia Story, and it is a romantic comedy. It's also a musical. It's got Frank Sinatra and Grace Kelly and Bing Crosby. I don't know how you could go wrong with that combination of talents. There's so many great songs on here. This is the track list on the back. You've got the Overture, the High Society Calypso, True Love. One of my favorite songs on this is Well, Did You Ever? It's Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra. I just love their dynamic together, and they just are both such talented vocalists. There's just so many great songs on this. I could just play this all the way through. I'll show you the record. It is black. It's by Capitol Records. It's in pretty good condition. It's got some fingerprints and things. I have to still put it through the spin cleaner. but it is going to be worth it because it is sensational. One of the songs is You're Sensational. Another one of my favorites on this is Mind If I Make Love to You. Just the title alone, just The story is about these two journalists who get assigned to cover a high-class wedding, an aristocratic couple, and it's just a great look at society and the expectations that are put upon people. I love the movie. I've loved it for a long time. It does have some smudges on it, but it does not take away from this recording and the condition of the album cover. This is an original, and I was so excited to get it in this condition. So that is High Society. Next up, we have Dave Brubreck. I've heard some of his tracks in the past. I'm a big jazz fan, but I found this and it had some tracks that I hadn't heard before, and I was excited to get it. It's called The Southern Scene, and it's got songs like Little Rock Getaway, Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen, Deep in the Heart of Texas, Happy Times, Oh Susanna. It's just some fun tracks, things that are somewhat familiar but also somewhat new. This is what it looks like. You've got a red sticker with some black records on it. And like a lot of these records, this doesn't have any other paper inserts, but it has notes by Dave Brubreck on the back. He talks about each one of the songs and what inspired him to arrange it that way, and the moods that they create, things that were written by other musicians, and what was registering to him when he was creating. I love it, and he does handle other people's music with respect when he made this. I've listened to this a couple of different times. It sounds wonderful, so another great one to find. Next up, we have Mantovani Hollywood. So Paolo Mantovani was a composer in Italy, and then he moved to England. He did this record, him arranging some of the biggest Hollywood hits, and it's so spectacular. It's got Goldfinger, Ben-Hur, The Magnificent Seven, Lawrence of Arabia. I just love this album, and I was excited to find it. You've got on the cover, you've got the director here, and you've got a girl wearing these green shades. You know, it was the Mantovani arrangements, and it was also this really cute picture of the girl looking at the director that caught my eye when I saw this. And yeah, what a set of Hollywood hits. Again, fills the space with that old Hollywood sound, these epic movie soundtracks. And if you look on the inside, you've got this blue label. I feel like these are in such great condition for how old they are. It says London Stereophonic. Got a great picture of Mantovani on the back. And this is the track list. It's a great album to get. With Mantovani being an Italian composer, I thought I would take us back to another era with another record that I found with that Italian vibe with it, and that is for the movie Rome Adventure. And this soundtrack, when I first saw it, it was the picture on the front of this couple kissing, and it is so romantic with the way he's holding her neck, and the colors of the album with the orange and the purple. It's just, it caught my eye. And then I saw that the film was composed by Max Steiner, and that's what really drew me to this soundtrack, because Max Steiner is known for Casablanca and Gone with the Wind. I knew that this would be epic. This is a story about an American who travels to Italy and how she just decides to have a whole new life there. It's a soundtrack that really captures all of the iconic imagery of Rome and all of the different architecture and everything that's there. It kind of reminds me of Roman Holiday, which is another movie that I absolutely adore with Audrey Hepburn. It's got that Mediterranean vibe. The arrangements are like lush and romantic. It's not folksy Italian music. It's really just a beautifully arranged soundtrack with lots of strings. He just captures the alluring charm of Italy in such a grand way. Thank you for listening and watching. I hope you found this to be interesting. It was fun sharing all of these with you. I was really excited to add these to my collection and found them to be worth sharing. I hope you found something of interest, something that you will be looking for at your record stores if you are intrigued by any of these kinds of orchestrations and arrangements. They are fully worth it. I love that so many of you are following me on this journey, and I hope to continue doing this. I'm going to be sharing some other artists, some newer artists as well as old artists, some other finds that I have along the way. So if you'd like to see that, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you later. Until next time, just keep spinning. Bye.